One of the world's most important issues of our time is the issue of global warming. Global warming is defined as an average increase in the temperature of the atmosphere near the Earth's surface and in the troposphere, which can contribute to changes in global climate patterns. Global warming can occur from a variety of causes, both natural and human-induced. In common usage, global warming often refers to the warming that can occur as a result of increased emissions of greenhouse gases from human activities. I received this information from the United States Environmental Protection Agency. Because of global warming, the world is seeing many effects, such as rising Earth temperatures, which results in melting ice and then results in the destruction of animals' habitats such as the polar bears. There are many causes and effects that go into global warming, and that could badly destroy our planet, but there are things that people can do to help stop it. Let's discuss the facts of global warming. The planet's temperature has changed throughout many thousands of years, from ice ages to long periods of warmth. Such things as volcanic eruptions, energy released from the sun, and changes in the Earth's orbit have affected the Earth's climate. I have a graph here of increasing temperatures from 1860 to 2000, and the most dramatic increase comes from 1980 to 2000, which is a 0.6 increase in temperature. A major reason for climate change that has been caused is because of human activities. Activities such as the Industrial Revolution have influenced climate change because of the changes it has caused for the atmosphere's change in composition. Some scientists say that the climate is changing so dramatically that it is going to be beneficial to our world. For instance, it is said that a warmer climate was beneficial a time before ours, where people have seen rising temperatures such as the medieval warm period, which was about 800 to 1200 AD. It allowed the Vikings to settle in Greenland. I received this information from the Telegraph Media Group Limited. Because of things the world is using, things such as burning fossil fuels like coal and oil have caused the concentration of heat-trapping gases to increase significantly in our atmosphere. I received this information from the United States Environmental Protection Agency. Our planet needs greenhouse gases because they help to keep our planet warm. Planets that don't have the trapping in the atmosphere that the Earth does have colder atmospheres. If it were not for our unique atmosphere, the Earth's average temperature would be about negative 20 degrees Celsius instead of our positive 15 degrees Celsius. As the concentration of these gases increase, we begin to see an increase in the Earth's temperature. According to the NOAA and NASA, the Earth's average temperature has increased by about 1.2 to 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit in the last 100 years. I received this information from the United States Environmental Protection Agency. Have you noticed a difference in the weather? Well, a lot of places in the world have already experienced droughts, or small amounts of rainfall. And with the increase of temperatures and the issue of global warming, these areas may see even less rainfall or even none at all. In this picture, there is a wildfire occurring, and with increasing temperatures and less rainfall in places, it is causing droughts and then in return causes wildfires. The 1999 to 2002 national drought was one of the 3 most extensive droughts in the last 40 years. Warming may have led to the increased drought frequency in the West and which they have experienced over the last 30 years. Also, hurricanes. Hurricanes are becoming more powerful and more destructible in recent time, and the number of Category 4 and 5 storms have greatly increased over the past 35 years, along with ocean temperatures. This is said to be because of global warming. And as we all remember Hurricane Katrina of 2005, it was one of the costliest and most deadliest hurricanes in United States history. Increases in water shortages are also an effect of global warming, and many intense weather effects such as catastrophic hurricanes, floods, tornadoes, heat waves, and wildfires. Tropical plants are also growing at maximal temperature limits, and agricultural yields are becoming higher and lower. I received this information from The Living World by Johnson & Loses. A disease called malaria is coming back because of global warming. It is coming back to areas where it was earlier extinguished. A huge concern for global warming and the health of human beings is malaria, because this disease comes from mosquitoes, which come from warm areas of the world. And with increasing temperature, this disease could be something that we should all be aware and concerned about. Rising sea levels is another major concern for our planet. With the melting ice world, we could all be in extreme danger. Most of the water that is on the Earth is locked into ice in glaciers and polar ice caps. Obviously, with higher temperatures than these objects are used to, they're now experiencing melting and destruction. The water that comes from these melting ice blocks goes into the ocean, which in return rises sea levels. With increasing sea levels, it can cause flooding to those low-level lands. Sea levels have increased by 4 to 8 inches in places such as Greenland, which holds 10% of the total global ice mass. If it melts, sea levels could increase by up to 21 feet. I see this information from the Natural Resources Defense Council. Rising sea levels is a huge issue for human beings because it will affect our habitat and our way of living. If our land is covered by water, then we cannot live. Our entire existence relies on land. Humans are not the only people that are being affected, or not the only things that are being affected by this rising problem. Animals are too. Extinction is just a part of life and a part of the life cycle. Most species, as many as 99% that are known to science, are extinct or will become extinct. While this is a normal part of life, the problem comes in because the rate of extinction is extremely high. The normal rate of extinction is about one species every decade from 1600 to 1700, then rose to one species every year in 1850-1950, then rose to the highest of 4 species per year between 1986 and 1990. I also received this information from the book The Living World. Some of the things that contribute to extinction are habitat loss, which is the leading cause of extinction, and most of these destructions to their habitats are caused because of human beings. Whether it be pollution, human disruption, destruction, habitat fragmentation, regardless of the reason, these species are dying at an increasing rate, and with global warming helping to the destruction, something needs to be done. For instance, the polar bears. They rely on ice and cold waters to live, but because of the rising temperatures, they're having an increasingly harder time finding somewhere to live. As this picture shows, there's a polar bear who is finding it very hard to survive because its world and its land that covers where they are is now just becoming melting away, and it's vanishing very quickly, which is making them die at a very high rate, and which means that they'll become close to extinction. Many animals, including the polar bear, are close to extinction because of the rising temperature. All the animals that are alive and are meant to live in such extreme cold conditions may not make it if the temperature continues to rise and ruin their homes, such as the ice that they live in or the cold waters that they swim and hunt their food in. Now that you have the right information, let's discuss what you can do to help. There are many things that can be done to help stop global warming, things that one individual can do not only to help our world, but also help themselves to save money. There are many things that people can do, such as changing your light bulbs, planting a tree, carpooling, recycling, or a more expensive way is buying a hybrid, which also helps to get better fuel economy and also helps our environment. When people drive their cars and use electricity, they are doing this by using energy, and then in return they are emitting greenhouse gases. What people can do to help decrease the amount of greenhouse gas emissions is by doing simple things such as changing a light bulb in their homes or by properly inflating their tires, which will not only help the planet but a person's wallet because it helps to get better fuel economy. Carpooling is another thing that can be done to help put less fossil fuels into the air and help the world, because if 3 people share a car ride, that's 2 less cars that are on the road. Also, big-time corporations can also help to solve the problem by getting involved in EPA or other federal voluntary programs. And recently in the new income tax return, there are more government incentives such as buying a hybrid, you get a bigger amount of money in your income tax return, or buying light bulbs that go green or environmental friendly, and windows and doors and things like that. Let's review. The issue of global warming is huge and needs to be taken seriously. Although there are some doubts to people and scientists that global warming is not real, the facts can't lie, and the planet is seeing major changes that are not for the better. Although some people feel that this is not a crisis, but when animals' lives are at stake and weather conditions are becoming horrible and more destructible, it's time to stop saying that it's just nature, and it's time to do something about it. Global warming is hurting our planet, and it's affecting our lives, healths, plants, and animals. Although the evidence is quite clear that there is a problem in our hands, there are many actions that can be taken place to help change it. Not only is it good for the world, but can also be good to you. This planet is the only one we have, and we all need to come together and realize how precious that it is, and that it deserves to be treated well and taken care of.